Hey, welcome to this on-demand class. I'm so glad you're taking a little bit of your time to join me today. And I'm really hoping that what I have to share with you today will actually be of great benefit to you. You're probably here because you're really trying to figure out this whole marketing thing. My bet is that you've got a really great craft, you've got a great idea, you've got a great service, you've really put something together, and you've probably worked really, really hard on it. And, honestly, the world deserves to know about it, right? So the gap might be that you're just not quite sure that you can get out there and get your marketing going in an organized and a systematic way and really in an effective way. And when you don't have that knowledge, what happens is it can really erode your confidence. So really, in the end, what I'm hoping that happens for you today, by just spending a few minutes with me, I'm really hoping that you gain confidence that, you know what? You can be a rock star. You can grab maybe one of those metaphorical guitars, right? And have that crowd. And you can be that marketing rock star that you always knew you could be, but you just weren't quite sure where to start, okay? So listen, I get it. There's lots of things that are in your way, a lot of headwinds, right? And I personally, I have had a lot of headwinds in my career. I've tried lots of different businesses. Not all of them have succeeded. Some of them have gone great and then tanked. And some of them have been really difficult. But let me tell you something. When you persevere, then good things happen. And the great thing about the American economy and the great American great country of America that we live in is there are so many opportunities out there, and they are yours for the taking. And whatever you have to offer, the market is so big that there are plenty of opportunities for what? For you. And there's another thing that I actually want to share really fast, and that is this. There's only one person on this earth that can be you, and that's you, right? That's you. There's no other person on earth that can share things the way you share, that can connect with people the way you connect, and can create what you personally have created. So it's really easy to get out there and look at the competition and just think, oh my gosh, there's no space for me. But let me tell you something. There are a specific set of people that will connect with you directly. And to be honest with you, there's going to be a set of people that do not. And those are the people that will connect with your competitors, right? So there's plenty for all. There's tons of abundance. There's really no scarcity. There's just goodness ahead. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have hard work. That doesn't mean we don't have disappointments. That doesn't mean there isn't some things that are kind of hard to take psychologically, but that's the joy of being in business for yourself. Because guess what? You're going to be able to write your own ticket. So my story is I have loved marketing ever since I was a kid. My first business I started, I actually wrote out on a piece of type paper. Does anybody know what type paper even is anymore? I mean, it's just white printer paper now. Funny that it's called type paper back then. But anyway, I ended up just writing a flyer, like a direct response mailer is what we would call it. And I took 100 copies of these. My dad gave me $5 that I paid back, by the way, through my little marketing venture. My dad gave me the $5, and I went out and I got 100 copies, and I delivered these around the neighborhood. And I ended up having a little business when I was probably about 12 years old. Okay, that business was just taking care of people's animals in their house, getting their mail while they're on vacation. And I made pretty good money back then. And that was my first foray in door-to-door sales and direct response marketing, right? But anyway, no computers back then. It was all Sharpie marker and that type paper. So anyway, we start there. Then I went to BYU and studied marketing and advertising. Actually got another degree in music too, because I love music, as you can tell. And then I've been working through small businesses, and I've helped a lot of small businesses, as even my own, to get from one place to the next through their marketing and advertising. And I've fallen into a lot of traps, just so you know. Fallen into a lot of traps, And there are a lot of traps that were tough to get out of. But let me tell you what, one trap, if I could just express this to you more than anything, is you got to be true to yourself. Okay? And what that means to me is I need to speak my language, what I have to offer you. And it's totally cool if what I have to offer doesn't fit you, because I know that my message will resonate with the people that it resonates with. And those are the people I can help. And the others, I can't really help. So this webinar is not going to be your typical webinar where I'm going to try and talk you into something. I am going to have a great offer for you, but I only want you to take the offer if it's going to be worth it to you and can totally help your business. Now, my experience is that most small businesses this will totally help and can completely revolutionize the way you're approaching your marketing and the things that you can do. But nevertheless, I want you to get a lot of value out of here, and I want you to be true to yourself. Develop your own messaging. But okay, so I'll tell you a quick story. I'm not a golf lover. I'm sorry if you are. That's totally cool. I don't hate golf, but what's happened is there's been a lot of times where in my career I have gone golfing with people simply because I was trying to win their business. And the whole time I was out on the course, I'm feeling ungenuine. And I hate that. In fact, I hate to use the word prostitute, but I felt like I was prostituting myself just so I could gain favor with somebody and win their business. And I hate that. And to me, that's kind of salesy. And I don't like that salesy stuff. So if you're, by the way, the definition of salesy is trying to talk people into something they don't want. And I don't like that. I like to offer value, and you do too. And when you offer great value, it's going to attract the people that are going to want to work with you, right? So anyway, that last time, I haven't been golfing in 10 years because the last time I played golf, I wasn't very good at it, truthfully. But it was for 3 hours with a couple of guys that were really cool guys. But it just wasn't anything I was interested in doing at the time. And so I had to sign off on that. So be true to yourself. Be loyal to yourself. And make sure that you're saying the things that you want to say. Okay, we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so real quick. Okay, so really quick. These are some of the traps that I've personally fallen into, and I've seen so many fall into. Actually, let's start again. Okay, so let's just start with some of the headwinds that you have. When you're running your own business, the biggest thing is you're probably really, really good at your craft. But getting the message out about your craft or your service is the difficult part. Almost everybody I talk to says, yeah, if it comes down to actually taking care of my customers, I'm really good at it. I can really handle what they're giving and I am professional. But man, I'm having a hard time letting people know about that. And it's actually a great thought, because think about this. If you are the greatest brain surgeon in the world and nobody knows about you, well then it doesn't matter if you're the greatest brain surgeon in the world. You're not going to help anybody, right? So getting that message out is so important, but it's so hard because you're not quite sure all the steps you need to take, right? Which means you don't know what to say, you don't know who to say it to. This day and age, there are so many options out there that it'll blow your mind. You can't even think, is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Is it Instagram? Is it YouTube? Do I send mailers? It goes on and on. And on top of that, you've got tons and tons of experts now that are constantly telling you that what they've got is truly the silver bullet. So, and I've even seen people nail it down where they say, hey, listen, if you're not doing Facebook Reels, then you're totally missing out. And somebody that's not even really running Facebook ads, like, oh my gosh, I'm not even running ads yet, and I'm already missing out on Reels. And and then what happens is you get overcoached and overstimulated, I should say, and then you get paralyzed. You totally get paralyzed, okay? So not a very good, not understanding the landscape of marketing and just kind of how it works. And truthfully, it's really simple. And also dealing with software. So in this digital day and age, there's a lot of software out there. You've got a lot of people telling you what to use, what to do. And so I'm always getting that question. I see it all over the place. What are you using for your software to organize your people or communicate with your people and your CRM and your email manager and your social media manager and all that stuff? I'm going to show you some really cool stuff on that too, because that's a big problem. And we're going to solve that today, okay? So here's the thing. At the end of this little class, I want you walking away with some good confidence that, hey, you can be a really great marketer. And then I also want you to know of the best software that's out there that will solve a lot of these problems. So that gap, we're looking to close that gap between not understanding marketing or having confidence to do it and the tools to use, and boom, having a great understanding of moving forward, what steps to take next, and how you can get your marketing going today, right? Okay, so let's move to then, I got my trusty notebook. Let's actually run this down. We're at 11:30. Why 13? Let's go 13 minutes. Why? Okay, here we go. The next question you might be asking yourself is, hey, listen, why should I spend time learning about marketing, right? What are my other options? Okay, so your other options are, number one, doing nothing. Number two, just kind of dabbling. And then number three, you do have the option to hire a big marketing agency. Now, depending on your size, let's work backwards. Depending on your size, you might be able to hire a big marketing agency. A lot of small business startups especially don't have the budget for that. And also find that they work with a marketing agency and they get mixed results. And there's a lot of reasons for that. The other thing is you can just dabble, right? And dabbling is, okay, I can do a little bit here, I can do a little bit there, but you'll find that that generally wastes a lot of time, wastes some money, right? And then the other option, of course, is doing nothing. And you know where nothing gets you. Nothing gets you nothing. So I have to say, probably the biggest falsehood that I've ever seen is, if you build it, they will come, right? I have found that to be patently untrue. You can go out and get your message of help out there, okay? So why you want to be your own marketer is, man, it is writing your own ticket. There is nothing like putting a simple campaign together, getting it out there, and getting a response. Like, whoa! And it's not just the fact that you can make money, right? That's a byproduct. The fact is, I actually put something out there into the world that I created, and it made somebody's day. Like, they're interested. It might be a problem somebody has that I can solve, right? So that's really what it's all about. It's really about connecting with those people where you can put what you've got that's good into the world and bring it to that audience that really connects with you. And I got to be honest, that is so exciting for me. There's nothing that's more exciting than that. So if, for me, just to give you an example, for me, if what I have helps a small business owner be more successful and grow their business, oh man, I go nuts. In fact, the other day I was chatting with a client, and we were just chatting. I had a little extra time. We ended up talking for 4 hours about just different ideas and how we could look at that business and what tweaks he could make. Well, the funny thing is, we actually came up with a way that would take him from, oh, I got an itch. Okay, where are we? 14:30. So after talking for 4 hours, get this, we came up with a very plausible way where he could go from an income of $5,000 a month to, in about the next 12 months, we could generate close to $2 million. I kid you not. There was, let's try it one more time. So that's so exciting. Let's go 15. Okay. Okay. So in this long conversation that we ended up having, in this long conversation we ended up having, we came up with a plausible way to generate from about $5,000 a month to almost $2 million in 12 months. I kid you not, completely plausible. The pieces were in place. He just hadn't quite seen them, hadn't put them together. So our discussion together unearthed a couple of things. He put it together, and now, man, this guy's off to the races. That is super exciting for me. I love that. And that's what I want to see in your business. I want to see you go from wherever you're at to all of a sudden scaling up, and all of a sudden you're making a big difference in the marketplace. Okay? Okay, so let's just jump right into it. You know the whys of being let's just edit that. 16. Okay. Writing, being good at marketing also means that you are controlling your destiny. So think about this. If you have the ability to generate and convert customers, then you will be able to completely control your own destiny. You don't have people telling you what to do. You don't have to follow the exact schedule of a boss, right? But even more importantly, like I mentioned, you really are able to control what you are creating for the world, which is totally awesome. So in a perfect world then, your marketing system would be a systematic approach. Okay, so edit that. So in a perfect world then, your marketing would be a system that could generate and convert leads at scale and at a predictable price with a predictable message and a predictable outcome, right? That's what we're all after. So let's just jump right into it. The very first thing that I have found that almost all of us struggle with is mindset, okay? Now, what do I mean by mindset? The mindset, I'm not talking about, let's go mindset, itchy nose, 1740. Okay. All right. Okay, the very first thing that you're going to, okay, so let's just jump right in then. The very first thing that will be the foundation of all of your marketing is going to be your mindset. Now, I found that most people don't really have a great mindset about how to market. They think generally too small. They don't have enough confidence. And honestly, it's just really because you're not really understanding the landscape of how marketing works. Okay, so let me give you an example. The very first thing that you need to understand and that you need to internalize, and by the way, it's kind of difficult, is this. No one's thinking about you as much as you think they are. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over again because it's so hard to internalize. Let me give you an example. Let's say you create a Facebook post and you're so excited, like this is going to be the greatest Facebook post in the world. And you go through it and you get your photo, maybe it's just a photo, right? You get your photo all put together and you write out this copy and this is perfect. And you put it out there into the world. You're so excited because you're thinking, you know what? This one's going to change the world. And then guess what happens? Nobody even pays attention. You're like, what? How did nobody even pay attention to that? And then sometimes you even get a negative comment or two. You think, oh my gosh, my baby, people hate my baby. And then you internalize it, and then you think, man, I'm the worst. That guy thinks I'm an idiot. That person that posted there, I can't do this, right? So your confidence erodes, and then you don't do anything, okay? So one and done. I see that. That's a really bad mindset to get into. Like put something out there, one and done, doesn't work, therefore I'm a failure. Where a professional marketer is going to always think this. I'm going to put something out there and I'm going to run my numbers as if nobody sees it. So therefore I need to put it out there again. Therefore I need to put it out there again. I may need to put it out there 10 times, 20 times, right? It may be in different ways or maybe little variations or heck, maybe the same thing over and over and over again. How many times do you see the same ads rolling over and over and over again, right? So one and done mentality is a killer, and it all stems from you thinking that people are thinking about you. And I guarantee you, nobody's thinking about you, nobody's thinking about your product, nobody's thinking about what you have to offer. What are they thinking about? They're only thinking about themselves. Totally cool, right? So they're thinking about themselves, and they're only thinking about their their problems and how to solve them, right? What are you thinking about? You're only thinking about yourself. That's great. So you're here today because you got a problem. You don't care about me. I'm cool with that. You just want to know if I can help you solve the problem that you have with your marketing. So that's the approach that you need to take with all the marketing that you do out there. The great thing is this is so liberating because you kind of stop worrying about what you look like, what you sound like. I mean, heck, I've messed up on this recording already, right? But you stop worrying about all those things. And all of the stuff that you stew about, then it kind of doesn't matter because remember, nobody's thinking about you as much as you think they are. So we kind of have a joke that's going around, on our team. We'll say, hey, what do you think about this piece of copy, right? The sales copy. And then the joke will be like, well, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to read it anyway, right? But that's the mentality that you need to get into is I'm going to put out a bunch of content and I'm going to let the market decide what they like. I'm not going to try and predetermine. I'm going to make a few stabs at it. Okay? So mindset is so, so important. And there is definitely an order to this. And in our 12-step program, we have a great order that we show all of these steps, okay? And if you want to download the 12-step program, there should be a link below or go to truepartnersuccess.com and just download the PDF, okay? Download the 12-step program. And it's not an addiction program, although my guess is you might be addicted to not good marketing, right? I'm just kidding. So, but we want to break that. If you are addicted to not good marketing, there's a better way to say that, I'm sure. Then we want to solve that problem, right? We want to break that addiction. 12 steps. But in that 12-step program, we show you one of the very first. Okay. That's going to be 2230. Okay. In that 12-step program, I'm going to show you, in the 12-step, in the 12-step program, one of the very first things we do is we determine in our 12-step program, one of the very first things we do is we talk about how to determine your audience. And it doesn't take very long, but this is one of the most overlooked but most simple and important steps that you can possibly do. And here's why. The key to good marketing is three things: the right message to the right market using the right medium. Those are the 3 M's. Those come from Dan Kennedy. The right message to the right market or the audience using the right medium. So if you know who you're speaking to, what problems they have, the way they're thinking, that conversation that's going on inside their brain, then you can enter that conversation through your marketing and through your content. That's so important. So when you are speaking to them, your marketing will all of a sudden start to write itself. It becomes so much easier, right? Really great example here. Would you market German repair or German vehicle repair to a group of people that own Fords, right? Yeah, you're totally missing it. And you would be missing it, right? So if I'm sure you've had that happen where you get mailers and you're like, they're not even speaking to me. I have no interest in this, right? And they immediately go in the trash. So then you feel like, hey, I'm getting sold. I mean, these people are selling me, right? But when you see something in the mail that you're really interested in, you're like, oh, dude, that's really great. Everything else is going in the trash. So that audience is so key. And then your message can resonate with them, and then all of a sudden things start to shift really, really, really quickly, okay? And this is where you start to build an audience, because now your content can actually be super, super helpful, and it can connect, it can provide value, and then when you provide an offer or a call to action, then it's completely acceptable, right? Oh yeah, cool, I do need help with that. What would you like me to do next? I need to give you a phone call. Okay, so this mindset is very, very important. And this is why in the 12-step program, we start with that right mindset. And it's the part that people skip over the fastest and the most. Because the reason is you want to get to the creative part of marketing, right? I want to shoot a video, or I want to do something creative and cool. And you can see advertising agencies do this too, by the way. I want to do something cool, but no. It's always audience first, what you want them to do as part of seeing your message or when they see your message, and what are you offering them, okay? Now you can speak to them, okay? So that's mindset. Now, let's talk a little bit about strategies, okay? So when you have when you have your mindset and your audience, now you can start talking about strategies, because now you can clear away a lot of this clutter. So for example, let's take something that's very, very simple. I call it minimum viable. In the old days, you used to just simply run a print ad, right? Maybe in the newspaper, maybe in the Yellow Pages, and maybe you're selling dentistry. So you would have a little ad that says, say for example, do you need dentistry? Call now for a discount, right? So you'd run that little ad, and then what was it designed to do? It was designed to make the phone ring, right? Simple print ad, phone ring. That's the funnel, right? And then the person on the phone answers the questions and tries to book the appointment with that person if it looks like they can help out. That's a really simple funnel. Nowadays, we have so many strategies out there because of all the different platforms. But if we go back to understanding who our audience is and where they congregate, now we can start putting our message in front of them in the right places, right? So for example, would you ever run a Yellow Page ad to the rising generation, the kids that are in college right now? Yeah, of course not. Who's going to see that, right? But maybe a Yellow Page ad may make sense to a retired area, right? Maybe. Now, maybe that's not a great example, but I wanted to create kind of that stark image. Okay, so the ad placement there really, really matters because it's going. So that ad placement there really, really matters. But again, it all stems from who your audience is. Okay. Of course, nowadays, most of the ads that we run, of course, now, since everybody's gone online and everybody's got that phone in their pocket, and this is where their newspaper, radio, TV, everything sits, the Yellow Pages even, it sits in their pocket. Now it makes a lot of sense to strive for digital marketing first. But there's another reason why we want to go after digital marketing. The other reason is because now, unlike the receptionist that's just taking phone calls and then having to follow up, with digital marketing, we can bolt on back-end software tools that do a lot of things for us. They can help scale out our marketing. They can help create our marketing. They can help report on our marketing so we know what's working and what's not. And they can help automate so much of our marketing. So I'm going to show you a couple of tools that we use right now. So, but first off, but in the 12-step program, okay, let's. Okay, let's see. Okay, so our 12-step program goes through a lot of these strategies. Okay. Now, obviously, there's going to be. Let's go. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more strategies that you want to run. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of strategies, but the strategy is going to depend on obviously, there's going to be a lot of strategies, but obviously, there's a ton of strategies out there, but there's a lot of strategies out there, but there's simple core strategies that you can run to the right audiences depending on where they are in your funnel. So in review of this section, so you may want to take a look at, clearly there's an unending supply of strategies out there, but there are a few core strategies that you can run over and over and over and that are very, very simple and effective that can get your marketing going right away and start getting you leads and help you convert those to customers. Now, in our 12-step program, we outline some very, very specific strategies that anybody can run right away, and we give you ideas on how to put it together. We also give you ideas on the whole mindset setup, so you've got your formulas for picking your audience. You've also got your formulas for how to create the content, including goodwill, value, and offer posts, and how to just constantly be positioning your offers so they really resonate with your target audience, and then so they really resonate with your target audience. And okay. Okay. Okay, so there's an unending supply of strategies, but there will be a few core strategies that can run and be that obviously there's an unending supply of strategies, but the 12-step program outlines a few strategies that are core, that can really help get your marketing going right away, that are simple, and that will help you in the mindset of where to channel your message, okay? We also go through formulas such as how to pick your market, okay, one more time. Okay, so in our 12-step program then, now obviously there's an unending supply of strategies out there, right? Now obviously there's an unending supply of strategies and tactics out there, right? But in our 12-step program, we outline some core strategies that are simple, that are effective, and that you can run immediately, especially if you're using the right tools. Now, also as part of the 12-step program, we include how to select your best audience, how to find where they congregate, and how to get the right messages to them using our content creation formula. Okay, that content creation formula includes the connection, the value, and the offer frameworks, which can set the stage for all of the content that you're creating and will help you be a master rock star content creator. All right, so now if you want to go out, download the 12-step program PDF, that's great. Just remember, with your True Partner membership, you get the full course, you get the videos on how to do it, and then of course you get the software to help you run it. Okay, so let's go to our final then. Let's go to our final